Hey everyone, welcome back to tech.com with a new session. Today we will discuss about C data type and modifier, and also we will see how to declare a variable, what are all the rules and restrictions we need to follow to declare a variable or a identifier. So let's begin with the C data type. So uh, in C programming languages, we have two type of data type. One is primary data type, another one is derived data type. So the primary data type means is like a unique data types, and derived means under derived data type, whatever the array pointer structures or unions we have, those are derived from some other data types. That's why we consider that as a derived data type. And integer, floating point, or character or string we will consider under primary data type. So if we want to discuss about the primary data types and derived data type in detail, let's see this table chart. So here if you see the data types, we have signed character. So it is kind of signed character. The type of the data type is character type. What is the size of this data type? It is 1 byte. And what are the range it can hold? So minus 1 to 8 to 1 to 7, and we can store it, or we can the value of this signed char data type with percentage C. Similar way we have unsigned char. This is also character type data type. Here we can consider the positive values like 0 to 255 characters, 255 lengths. Now here also the format specifier is percentage C. Similar way, if we consider the integer type or sort int type or unsigned sort int or unsigned int or long int, unsigned long int. So what we have over here, like if we see short int data type, it's kind of integer type value. And what is the size of this data type? It will hold 2 byte of size in memory, and it can hold the range of value from minus 32,768 to 32,766, and the format specifier should be percentage HD. Same way, if we see unsigned sort int, it is also integer type data type, and we also have the size as 2 byte itself. Again, as it is an unsigned data type, so it will only hold the positive values. So from 0 to um, 65,535 uh, value it can hold, and we can represent this type of data type by using percentage HU. Similar way, we have integer. This is the main, commonly we are using this integer in our programming daily basis. So the size of this value is 4 byte, and it can hold the value up to this range to this range, and we can represent this integer type variable by using percentage D. We have other data types as well. We also have uh, the floating point data type, which is called float. uh, the size of this data type is 4 byte, and the format specifier of this data type is percentage %f. Similar way, we have long float, we have double. So double, if we come to the double, it will be like 8 byte of size it can hold, and the format specifier would be percentage %lf. So the if you see the below notes, we have the long, short, signed, and unsigned are data type modifier that can be used with some primitive data types to change a size or length of the data type. And format string or specifier are used for input or output operation. So each, as we discussed in the last session, um, computer will only understand 0 and 1, but to write a program, we are writing the program in English text-based code. So if you see, whatever letters we are using, that has a particular position which is called ASCII code. So ASCII code means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So this ASCII code holds the value from 0 to 256. So uh, if you see, we have like uh, capital letter A to Z characters. We have starts from 65 to 98. These 65 positions are, as soon as we type A, the system will automatically pick 65 value and it will convert this to the binary format, and the respective binary code it will consider, mean the computer will understand that binary code. Similar way, we also have the small letter A to Z, which starts from 97 to 122. Same way, we also have like 0 to 9 values. If we say 40, it starts from 48 and it will go to 57. Um, these are like our regular basis we are using the letters, that's why we have added like this. But as I say, uh, from 0 to 256 characters, we have characters as well, like special characters, some sign, some keywords. So all these are uh, pointed to the particular positions of the ASCII code. So what is modifier? So modifier is like, uh, whenever we are trying to modify the characteristic of a data type, that called modifier. In C, if you, as we discussed earlier, the long, short, string, unsigned, or constant, these are the modifier we are using to modify the characteristic of the data type. Coming to the variables or identifier. So the variable mean, whenever we are writing a program, suppose we want to perform some operation and based on some values. So always write the same value like 10, 20, 30 uh, in entire solution or entire program. If we write in mean 10, 20 and 30 as a hard coded value, that will be very hard to handle the value. Okay, so to avoid that problem, what we did, we can store the value within a field that called variable. Like if we say a equal to 10, mean the value of a is 10. Wherever we want to use 10 as a value, we can directly use a. So that will help us to maintain the code quality and code structure. So if you say the definition of the variable or identifier, some user-defined terms are used within the program to specify different value at different instant of the time. These user-defined terms are called as variables. So to construct a variable, we need to follow some rules and restrictions. So uh, to construct the variable name, we need to follow the below rules. If we say a variable name may contain both alphabet or digit, but the variable name never be started with a digit, but it may start with either alphabet or underscore. So if we say this example 9a, so it's an invalid type. Okay, we cannot write a variable in this format. If we write our IDE, or the compiler will throw the compile time error. But if we say a9, we can declare a variable like this. This is a valid thing. Similar way, we can declare underscore 9. This is also valid. Underscore abc also valid. So I hope this particular rules we understood. Now next rules what we have. for a variable or within a variable, we cannot use space or the blank space. Like if I say basic space salary, so this will not consider as a variable. Okay, so to consider it or to make it a variable, we need to either join it in a single word, or we can use underscore. So if you see the above, this is an invalid variable, but this is a valid variable. Same way, uh, i- for a variable declarations, we cannot use any symbolic constant like any operator or any special characters we cannot use uh, to declare a variable name. Like here, if we say a plus b, it's an invalid term. We cannot use a variable like this. Similar way, a comma b we cannot also declare. But a underscore b, it's a valid. We can use it. So always, whenever we are declaring a variable or we are writing a variable code, we need to follow the standard rules and regulations to declare. That will uh, that will be removing the problem of the runtime errors or compile time errors. Same way, like for a variable, we cannot use any predefined keywords. Like as we already discussed in last session, the keywords. So for a variable name, we cannot use a keywords as a variable. If we see this example, int, so it's kind of integer. But here, if we write this int as a variable, our compiler will not understand, and that will throw a error. Same way, if we say float, this is also invalid because this is also keyword. If float, float, which is a valid. Uh, if we say this float, that means it's a normal word. It is not considering as a keyword because of the spell. So this can be considered as a variable name. So there are few way to declare or implement variable. So let's discuss about that. So variable declaration, the sections the section contain the name of the variable and the data type of the variable. It called the variable declaration. So to implement a variable, we have three different sections. So one is like variable declaration, second is variable definition, and the third is variable initialization. So what is variable declaration? Mean as soon as we type a variable like with the data type and the variable name, this particular line as soon as we type it called as variable declaration. So here if you see this data type represent int, float, char, double, etc. Similarly, variable name we can use a, b, c, d, etc. So if we say in the example where int a, int b, int c, like that. So those are variable declarations. Similar way, if we say variable definition, whenever we are specifying a value to a variable, that process called variable definition. Meaning, here we declare a variable with this line. By using the same variable name, we are assigning a value to the variable. So this process called variable definition. If we say for the below example, int I equal to 10 or int I equal to 10. So basically these two lines of code gives us the same result as this. So this called as variable definition. Next is variable initialization. So when we are writing the code within the same line, we are declaring a variable, we are assigning the value to the variable. This complete process called variable initialization, like data type variable name equal to value. Same like for example, if I say int I equal to 10, so this called variable initialization. So we can achieve the same functionality by using only one single line of code. But if we See the variable definition, there we need two line of code. First is variable declaration and second is assigning the value to the variable. This C data type or variable sections, uh, we will be getting some important questions or some useful questions that will help you to understand or write the answer for your exam as well. So you can note down these questions. All variable initializations are variable definitions, but all variable definitions are not initialization. Justify your answer with proper example. So if we discuss this question, as I say, whenever we are initializing a variable, meaning within this line we have variable declaration as well as variable initialization, variable definition. So declaration and definition we both have. So this variable initialization holds the variable definition as well. But whenever we are moving to the variable definition, that means we are declaring within one line and then second line we are assigning the value to the variable. So it's not called a variable initialization. So we have to give the proper example for it so that your answer can be justified. Um, the next question which we will get, difference between variable initialization and variable definition. So the simple difference is we can provide the example like this is for initialization and the other one is for variable definition. Based on this example, we can elaborate our questions. So yeah, that's all about today's session. Next topic we will cover about C operators. Whatever operators we are using in our C programming, those topics we will discuss on our next session. Thank you all for watching the video. Please do subscribe the channel if you are new in this channel. And if you have any doubt and any question, please type your questions or doubt in the comment box. Thank you so much.